Hello and welcome to Round the Table. Hello, this is Round the Table, brought to you from the meeting point right here in the centre of Bilbao. And in today's programme we will be discussing cinema and films. But before that, we don't have a huge grammar lesson for you today, but we will have a quick game of What's the Difference? So, somebody asked me, what is the difference between deny and refuse? Well, the first thing you need to know is that the structure of the following verb is different. Deny doing something with ing, refuse to do something with a to infinitive. If you deny doing something, you say that you did not do it. For example, he denied breaking the window. She denied writing the letter. If you use refuse, it means you will not do something in the future. He refused to clean his room. She refused to go to the shop. So deny means you did not do it, or you say you did not do it, and refuse is to say that you will not do something. The next one is an easily confused pair of words, couple and partner. If you are talking about a romantic relationship, sort of a couple, remember that a couple refers to two people. A partner is one of those two people. So if you introduced your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, etc., you would say, "This is my partner," not "this is my couple," because partner is one of the two, and a couple is the two together. So you could say, "I met a couple from Paris while I was on holiday," for example. That means you met two people. So a couple is two, a partner is one of the two. You can also have business partners. Don't forget, if you start a company with someone, like Marks and Spencer, they are famous business partners. They start a company together. Not used for your workmates. If you just work with someone in an office, that's not a business partner. You have to be the owners of the company. You can also have a dance partner as well. If you go to dance classes, you do the salsa with somebody, you need somebody to dance with. That's your dance partner. But again, the couple is two people. The next commonly confused one is in the end and at the end. In the end means something like finally or eventually, usually after a process of decision making or given some options. So we were planning our holiday, we thought about going to Crete or maybe Turkey, but in the end we decided to go to Cyprus. So in the end means something like eventually. At the end means at the final part of something, either in time or place. So at the end of the film, at the end of the book, or even at the end of the road, if you want it to be a location. So at the end is the final part. And another one which is often misunderstood, this is especially a problem with writing. We have two words, every day and every day. Now they sound remarkably similar when I say them, and if you're speaking you won't have a problem because nobody will notice the difference. But sometimes it's two words and sometimes it's one word. When you use it as two words, It is an adverbial phrase of frequency. So you could say, every day I go to work. Every day I catch the bus. Every day I cook a meal. So that's an adverbial phrase. It means something is done on a daily basis. Every day as one word is actually an adjective. So it's not used as an adverb, it's an adjective. So if somebody referred to an everyday sight, would be something that you saw regularly. So everyday means very common or normal. So an everyday sight is something that you would see every day, but it goes before a noun. You could refer to your everyday clothes, for example, your everyday shoes, or your normal shoes that you wear most of the time. But everyday as one word is an adjective, goes before a noun, or every day as two words is an adverbial. Okay, so now we're going to talk about cinema. So, in the book here, it says, what do you think? The first point that we were going to discuss is this. It says, with the range of home entertainment options we have today, people are unlikely to visit the cinema in the future. So, what do you think of the future is of cinema then, Usara? Do you think people will go to the cinema?
Hello, Richard, and hello, everybody. Cinema. Well, I don't go much to the cinema,
No.
But I think people still go to the cinema.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as much as they did in the past. If you imagine the bits of film I've seen of like the 1940s or the 1950s, it was very common for people to go every weekend. Lots of people went.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe, it's too many options nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, because everybody's got the platforms on the computer or on the television where you can find hundreds of different films to watch, can't you?
Yeah. And maybe for younger generations, going to the cinema is not that interesting.
No. But what do you think the attraction is? Because some people really like it, and I don't know why, really.
Well, I think it's a few things. Like, first is watching a film in a huge screen.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you do things surrounded by other people, you get to feel the same things. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bit contagious.
A shared experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, they share the emotion, I suppose. But watching a film with lots of other people, I think that's a disadvantage. I'd rather watch a film alone than with all those other people. They always eat popcorn as well. Why do people eat popcorn when they watch a film? I don't know what the connection is.
Well, because it's allowed. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but some people only eat popcorn if they go to the cinema.
Yeah.
I don't know when the connection was made between popcorn and films. I guess it goes to back to the 1950s or something.
I don't know.
It's a strange thing. Anyway, that's an interesting thing, the future of cinema, if it will continue. I guess it will continue to a certain extent, because if you think about it, before cinema, people used to go to the theatre. And then when the cinema came, I suppose that in those days they said, oh, this is the end of the theatre. Nobody will go to the theatre. But people continue to go to the theatre, don't they? Even though it's not a common thing to do. But it exists.
Yeah.
And I suppose cinema will exist, but maybe it will find its number, it will settle down to a certain popularity. But I think most people will watch.
Well, another thing we haven't discussed is artificial intelligence. How cheap it will be to make films in the future.
Yeah.
Because nowadays they spend millions, don't they?
They do.
So that's going to change the industry as well, I think.
Yeah. It's going to make a lot of actors unemployed. I think if you can generate the characters in a computer,
Yeah.
and I think if the computers are powerful enough, which I'm sure they will be, I guess your television will be able to generate films for you
Yeah.
spontaneously. I think you'll come home from work and your computer will say, "Good evening, Ursula. What type of film would you like to watch today?" And you'll say horror or action or romance or something like that, and it will generate a film for you.
Or if we go a bit farther, the machine will already know how I feel and say, "I think you are feeling a bit,"
Oh yeah.
and give me something so I can, I don't know, forget about my
Yeah, yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think they'll do that soon, yeah. To begin with, they'll do music. I think the computer will generate music like spontaneously, and it will be sort of disposable. So it will make a tune and then it will instantly forget the tune. Or you can say how much you like it so it knows what to generate in the future. Yeah.
Very good.
Another point we were looking at, what's the point number 10 here on the list? It says, cinema is escapism. People worry too much about things like historical accuracy and the correct portrayal of cultures. So there are two things there. Historical accuracy and how other cultures are portrayed. So do you think historical accuracy is important?
Well, it depends. I don't think it's very important when you are watching a film because you know it's fiction, so you don't have to really focus on the accuracy because you have books for that, don't you?
Yeah.
And you're watching something to entertain yourself. So, but I think nowadays it's going too far with the inaccuracy.
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 Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it depends what you're watching, and for some people it's problematic. I don't know really. Like you say, it is fiction, isn't it? And if you know it's fiction, you don't have to have everything correct, I suppose. But then it gives people a false idea of what history was like, and to a certain extent, a film should be a bit educational. And I think I have more respect for the ones that do the research to see what it was actually like, and they try to put things in the right context. Because some people, even if it's a fairly modern film, I mean a film that's set in modern times, if it's in 1970, for example, and you see a car which came out in 1975, somebody's going to notice and say, "Oh, that's wrong, that car didn't exist in 1970. So to a certain extent, I think you need accuracy. Last night I was watching on the internet, there's a history program called History Hit, and they had Dan Snow, who is a historian, analysing historical war scenes to see how accurate they were portrayed in Hollywood. What's that, Commander? Something in Commander with Russell Crowe?
Oh, yeah, Master and
Commander. Apparently that's very good. He said that was a very good one, and it's very accurate to what it would have been like having battles on ships in those days. But the worst historical one is Braveheart.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently that is very, very bad historically, because they're wearing kilts. The Scottish people, the dress that Scottish people traditionally wear, they didn't wear them back in those days. So the kilts were too early, but they had their faces painted blue, which was a thing that was around before the Romans. It was a pre-Roman thing for the Pictish people.
Oh.
So they had a lot of things in that film that were very, very bad.
Yeah, I heard that Napoleon wasn't very good either.
Yes. I've not seen it, but it was received very badly in France, especially. They weren't very happy.
Really?
Yeah, they were not happy with because I suppose their idea of Napoleon, like the way history is taught in schools. History is not taught in the same way in every country, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
So in France, Napoleon has a rather better image, let's say, than he would if you learned about Napoleonic Wars in an English school. They teach you different history. Yes, history can be different according to who's teaching it.
Yeah, I believe that, yeah.
And then the other point was the portrayal of different cultures. Sometimes the filmmakers don't really understand the culture and what they're showing.
Well, I think that's a bit related to how history is told, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, difficult.
But somebody was telling me this week about, was it Mission Impossible? And there was one of them that was supposed to be in Seville.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the Bull Run of Pamplona in Seville, and they had all the different Spanish things all happening in the same weekend in Seville. Things from all over Spain.
Yeah.
They put them all together. And I suppose if it's your country that's represented, you know that you can see all the mistakes and you know that they're representing everything incorrectly. But if it's another country, you'd never know. If it was a film set in Germany and they had Bavarian things in parts of Germany, I don't know, what are all the different parts of Germany? Hanover, is that a part of Germany?
Yeah, but I think it's when you see a scenery in London and someone is driving and they go by the Houses of Parliament and all the emblematic buildings are all in the same.
Yeah. You always think, what journey are they doing across London? They go past the Parliament, then they go over Tower Bridge, and then they go past Buckingham Palace, and you think, where are they going? Yeah. But I suppose if you live in London, you know that it's all wrong. But if you don't, you're just seeing all the famous landmarks, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And for most people, that's what they want. If the film's in London, they want to see all the important buildings.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. So I think it's more of a problem for the people that are from the country. When your country is not represented properly, people get very annoyed about it.
Yeah.
But if it's another country, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
So what's the last question there? Number 12. For literature lovers, the film version of the book is usually a huge disappointment.
Yeah. Well, it's a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think you can compare them because you get different aspects
Yeah.
in each one.
But people who read the book first, it's like if the book was the original, some people are they're disappointed. They feel a bit let down sometimes because let down is a good phrasal verb. They feel a bit let down, which means disappointed, with the film because they've got expectations, haven't they?
Exactly. You've got your own characters, and then if the actor that is doing that character is not good enough for you, then you feel a bit disappointed.
Because when you're reading, you build pictures in your imagination, don't you? And you know what the place looked like, the house or the landscape or the characters.
Yeah.
And sometimes they change the story a bit as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Which some people don't like, but then, like you say, it's a different thing, isn't it? The film is a different thing, and you can't always adapt it accurately, even no matter how good the book version is. Sometimes you have to change it a bit.
One of the best ones I've seen, I really love the book, but also the film, is The Remains of the Day.
Yeah, that was very similar, wasn't it?
Yeah. I love that book.
Yeah, it's very good, yeah. And if you read the book again, you see Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the perfect character.
Yeah, it's very good. Very good film, very good book, yeah. Okay, so now let's play a game called What's That Film?
Ooh.
Right, okay. So I'm going to read this to you. In this book here, we've got little descriptions of films. What I did, I got the ChatGPT to write a little summary of films, and then I removed the film title. So you have to tell me what the film is.
Okay.
So pay attention. Directed by George Lucas, I think that's obvious already, and released in 1977, this film was a groundbreaking space saga. Set in a galaxy far away, it follows the adventures of Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo as they battle the tyrannical empire led by Darth Vader. With its iconic characters and revolutionary special effects, it has become a beloved classic that continues to captivate audiences worldwide. What's that then?
Let me think.
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Well, that was easy. I think I haven't seen them, but I think it's Star Wars.
It is, yeah. I've never seen Star Wars either. But we were saying yesterday with the group, even though some of us have never seen Star Wars, everybody knows all the characters.
Yeah.
There's so many iconic scenes and things like that, and it's so deeply embedded in the culture.
Well, merchandising, isn't it?
It was the first film that was designed alongside the merchandising. I think they developed that as part of the whole package. Yeah, but I mean, everybody knows who Darth Vader is, even if you've never seen the film. And he says, "I am your father." Yeah, everybody knows that. And I've never seen the film. And there's those two robots, R2D2 and C3PO.
Yeah.
C3PO is the tall one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Who talks like Sheldon in Big Bang. I always imagine that he's
The same, yeah.
the same character in robot form.
Yeah.
Anyway, I highlighted in this text some of the vocabulary that was used. So it was groundbreaking. It described it as groundbreaking.
Yeah, what's that? What do you mean?
Well, that means something that is... Well, it comes from to break ground. Imagine you were the first ever farmer in a new land. You would have to break the ground to start the farm, to start growing your vegetables. That's where it comes from. So groundbreaking is very innovative, if I use the Latin word, innovative. So it was something that's very new that changes everything. It is set in a galaxy far away. So set in is, I just highlighted that because it's a very useful phrase when describing films. Because set in, you can use it for the time. You can say it's set in the 1940s, set in 1973 or something like that. Or you can say the place. So it was set in Paris, set in Berlin, set in a galaxy far away.
Yeah. So very useful. Yeah.
It's a good phrase, yeah. Then I highlighted the special effects. You need to know what special effects means. Obviously, that speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I highlighted the word beloved. It's always pronounced beloved.
Beloved.
Normally, you don't pronounce the E. Normally, you would, if it was another word, it would sound like beloved.
Oh, yeah.
But we always say beloved with the E pronounced, which is unusual. It means it's loved by everybody.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay, so that is Star Wars. Right, are you ready for another one?
Yes, please.
Right, okay. Directed by Carol Reed and released in 1949, it is a classic film noir thriller set in post-war Vienna. Starring Joseph Cotton as Holly Martins, the film follows his investigation into the mysterious death of his friend Harry Lime, portrayed by Orson Welles. With its gripping plot, atmospheric cinematography, and iconic zither score, it remains a timeless masterpiece of cinema.
That's Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Give me the clue there. Vienna, the post-war Vienna. I think it's The Third Man.
The Third Man is correct. And it is a film noir thriller. Film noir. We say that.
That's French.
I know,
Really
we
nice.
say that in French. I don't know why nobody could translate that. I think we don't call it black film. So a thriller is a film that's very tense and exciting, but we always use film noir. A gripping plot. So the plot is like the story of a film. So gripping, grip is like a hold verb. When you grip something, you can use grip in quite a lot of things.
Don't you use it in Formula One?
Yeah,
For the-
in Formula One they use it instead of traction. There's the Latin word traction, tracción if you're Spanish.
Yeah.
But quite often they use the English word grip for how the tyres hold onto the road when they're going around a corner, for example. And also in other sports. If you play tennis and you've got a racket that you play tennis with, the bit that you hold onto where your hand goes is the grip.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have them on the handlebars of a bicycle as well. The little rubber bits where your hand goes.
Oh, I see.
On lots of things where you hold something, it's called a grip.
Yeah.
So if it's a gripping plot, it's a story that holds you.
Yeah.
So imagine you're watching a film and you wanted to go to the toilet. Yeah. And you say, I can't go to the toilet because something might happen. That's a gripping plot. Now you just press the pause button. Yeah. In the old days, before you had a pause button.
Oh, you had to wait till the adverts come.
Yeah, because that would be a gripping plot. You couldn't go away in case you missed something. And the iconic zither score. The zither is a musical instrument. Okay, and the score is the music. The music that goes with the film.
I see. Yeah. Oh, is it called a score then?
Yeah. Well, we were discussing this yesterday as well. Because sometimes you hear about the soundtrack of a film, but the soundtrack is not the score. Now, I think, I might not be correct, but I think the score is like the music which is written for the film. So if you think about Star Wars, the music of Star Wars is very famous,
Yeah.
I'd say that was a score because it was written and it's one piece of music that goes with that film.
Yeah.
But if you think of imagine Apocalypse Now, for example, or Easy Rider, they used music that was from the 60s. You can hear like Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin and all those kind of people. They've got their music in the film, but the music wasn't made for the film.
Yeah.
It's just to create some sort of atmosphere. So I think the score is more written for the film.
Okay.
And the soundtrack is just the music that was used. That's what I think.
Very good.
Okay, one more final one then on this little game of What's That Film? Directed by Alfred Hitchcock. There's a clue. And released in 1960, this film is a classic psychological thriller that continues to terrify audiences to this day. Starring Janet Leigh as Marion Crane, it follows her ill-fated encounter with the enigmatic Norman Bates, portrayed by Anthony Perkins, at the Bates Motel. With its iconic shower scene, suspenseful plot twists, and masterful direction, it is widely regarded as one of Hitchcock's greatest achievements and a landmark in cinematic history.
Oh, well, I think the iconic shower scene gave me the clue in this one. That might be Psycho.
That is Psycho, yes. So, yes, fantastic film. And Alfred Hitchcock, Now, Alfred Hitchcock appeared in all of his films, I believe.
Yeah.
They say. But I don't remember him appearing in Psycho. I'd have to watch it again. Because usually in the films you see him somewhere.
But maybe it's only for a couple of seconds.
Oh yeah. It's a very, very short thing. Like he's on the train or
reading the newspaper, I can see.
Yeah. There's one when he actually appears on the newspaper. Somebody else is reading a newspaper, and on the back of the newspaper you see a picture of Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And there's one when he's getting off a bus with a big case, like he's got a cello or something in the case.
I can see that one, yeah.
But in Psycho, I can't remember if he must appear in there somewhere.
We'll have to watch it again.
Anyway, the vocab that I highlighted was ill-fated encounter. Ill-fated.
That sounds negative.
It's very negative, yeah. So fate is like destiny,
Yeah.
and ill is a negative prefix in this case. Well, kind of negative prefix. Because it's like bad. Because some people say things like ill-tempered instead of bad-tempered.
Yeah.
And so sometimes ill, it doesn't mean ill like when you're ill, like when you're not well, when you're sick. It's not that kind.
But maybe it means that there's something wrong. It's not bad because maybe I'm thinking about ill temper.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not bad, but it's something wrong.
Yeah. But ill-fated, anyway, means something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a bad ending. And then I highlighted plot twists. So we've already said that the plot is the story. So the twist is like to turn something around. Mm-hmm. So in the plot twist, when the story suddenly changes, usually at the end, normally the twist is at the end of the film.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what's that film with the child that can see dead people?
Oh, Sixth Sense.
Yeah, and it's got that
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. I'm so bad at remembering the names of actors. Bruce Willis. Yeah. And apparently it's really obvious that he's a ghost.
Yeah.
I didn't see it at all until right at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
And it suddenly was revealed that the boy was talking to a ghost. And I was like, oh, wow, amazing. I never saw. And apparently everyone else thinks it's really obvious, but I didn't see that at all. Anyway, that's the twist. So, yeah, twist is like to turn something around. So you can use twist in other contexts. Like, there's a dance.
I was thinking about the dance.
There is. Let's twist again like we did last summer. Chubby Checker, I think, recorded it, the twist. Also, like when you hurt your ankle, if you fall down the steps, you can twist your ankle.
Yeah,
like sprain your ankle. I think twist and sprain are the same thing.
Yeah.
So twist is to turn something around, yeah. And a landmark in cinematic history, a landmark, normally now we think of landmarks as important buildings, like those landmarks that you were talking about in London earlier. But originally I think landmarks would have been used for like navigation on a long journey. So you'd sort of go past the big tree and then go in the direction of this mountain, or go past the rock, or cross the river, or things like that. They were landmarks originally. But now metaphorically, this is like on the journey of the history of cinema.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is a landmark.
Very good game, Richard.
Yeah, anyway, that was a little thing. Right, okay, so that's enough talking about cinema. That's about all we have time for. Time to finish. Look, we've been going for over half an hour. So we'll say goodbye for this week. We'll be back again next week talking about disaster. Disaster is the next thing.
Oh.
We've got some interesting little texts to read in this book as well. So next week we're talking disaster. There might be another video coming out on Wednesday. I'll try to do another one of some grammar feature, which could be talking about the future, or it could be how to use although and however and things like that. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want to, if you've got any suggestions, you can leave a message underneath, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.